Well, there's a few people here now. I guess I might as well just poll. Or should I? You know what? What I'll do? I won't poll yet. What I'll do is I'll play a practice game and I'll teach you basically how this game plays, because I know, for example, Ani is really curious how Teppen actually plays, and so this way I can actually take the opportunity to kind of give a tutorial for the game. And then, hi. Hi. And then that way, we can do that first, and then I'll poll whenever some other people show up, so I can get more of a spirit bomb. Okay, so basically, the way the game works is this. So I'm just going to play a really weak Ryu here. So the way the game plays is that you have 3 lanes, and they're basically there to guard your hero and to attack, basically. And so while you're waiting, your whole meter at the bottom of the screen slowly builds up over time. There are cards that can actually give you extra meter, like this one here, 20% meter boost and such. But basically, you just want to take these cards and then drag them into one of these lanes to play them in. And they have certain powers, like Ken will do 1 damage to the card in front of him as soon as you play him. But as you can see here, Ken's attacking me at the top. And he's going to do 2 damage, and he has 5 hit point health. So if I drop this card over here, now I have 2 damage and 5 hit points. So whenever I block him, we calculate the damage. So when he blocks me, he does 2 damage to me, I do 2 damage to him. Because we're both 2/5, we kill each other at the same time. And so that's basically the whole kind of main gist of it, but there's so many little power-ups. Like Zangief had that shield, so I have a bunch of cards that give me that have shield when I start. So for example, I'll give him shield again, and when you see the shield is actually, oh no, actually he's gonna shoot my card. And what the shield actually does is it makes it so that you can take 1 hit like this, boom, and my shield goes away and it absorbs all of the damage instead of actually taking the damage. Now, there's a difference between action cards, which have the round top, and unit cards, which have the square top. The unit cards are basically the cards that actually do the attacking, and they fight, and they're the ones that you place in the lanes here, in these different slots here, like that.
My spirit burns.
The action cards are cards that are like magic spells. And depending on what the card is, they do different kinds of spells. This one will take the attack of one of your units and automatically attack a random enemy unit. So that card that I just played will take that, and since this guy does 2 damage, it will do 2 damage to one of these, and it chose Dan, so it's gonna kill Dan. Pow, Dan's dead. And then of course the better cards are going to be at 8 MP up here like this, and I kind of want to block right here. But like I said, different cards have different powers. So for example, this card over here has these wings that lets them fly basically. It's actually probably easier to teach this if I had like a steel picture. But that means that that's a flying creature, but he just died. And then this Chun-Li card is really good because every time it kills an enemy unit, it gains 1 attack and 2 health. And so basically it can sit there and just keep powering itself up over and over and over again. So it's super good. Oh my god, he's going to destroy that card. Because he's going to do 6 damage. He just has an action card that just does 6 damage. So he just did 6 damage to my Chun-Li and killed it. But he only has 4 hit points left over here. Well, he's going to Shinku Hadouken her. And so now she's dead. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to play this card because this card gives me a 20% MP boost. So I'm going to get extra MP this way because I want to play the 6 MP Chris. And I'm just waiting for my meter to build up here at the bottom of the screen. And now, boom, I can play Chris. So now I'm going to play Chris. He has the power that if he kills anybody, he gains 3 hit points And if anybody else kills something, then they gain 1+1, so it's really, really super good. So now he's going to try to do damage to that. I'm going to use this card, which pulls it back into an EX pocket over here, and gives me 7 hit points. So I just gained 7 hit points back. And I'm going to play Chris over here and kill Ken. So Ken dies over there. And now he's got 4 attack over here. But that's going to kill Ryu, and boom, there, he's dead, basically. So I killed him over there. So basically what flight does is that flight means a character is in the air. And so what that means is that a grounded character, a character that does not have flight, cannot hit it. Or, I'm sorry, it can't block it. So, you know, you put the units out there in front of your hero as a shield, right? But if the enemy has flight, they fly over you and they damage they just damage the hero. And so the only way you can attack the flight monster is if your unit actually attacks the flight monster. But if the flight monster attacks you, it ignores you and does damage to the hero. So, what the different colors work is this. These characters have colors, and the colors are recommended for you. Because every hero that you have comes with 3 special powers. Ryu has the Shinku Hadouken, the Denjin Renki, and the Metz Shoryuken. And I purposely didn't use any of my hero arts in the last game because I was going to show that a little bit later. But every one of them has 3 hero arts. And the hero arts tend to work well with specific colored decks, right? So Ryu and Rathalos, their hero arts here tend to work better with red decks than they do with other cards. Mega Man and Chun-Li, their hero arts tend to coincide more with what green cards do. Morrigan and Dante, they work better with purple. A good example here is, this is my favorite, here is Morrigan, destroys any enemies inflicted with a halt status, and a lot of purple cards inflict halt. So basically, if you halt the enemy, that's like stunning them. They basically get dizzy and they can't do anything. They can't attack or defend, so they just sit there and they're dizzy for a short amount of time. And then if I activate my hero art, I can kill any card. I will kill any card, basically, that's halted at the time. So that's why you kind of want to stick with the colors. Black cards are Wesker and Nergigante. And then they added a new character, Jill, who is better suited for red cards as well. Now, here's the thing. If you remember on the screen when we were playing, I was building my meter up to 10. So I could get up to 10 magic, right? Because when you actually look at all of the cards, you know, the MP cost of them, which is the big number in the top right, in the top left corner, is how much MP they cost. So the good cards, like that Chun-Li card that I played earlier, is an 8 MP card right here. So this is an 8 MP card. So you can build up to 10 maximum MP. So if you just let the thing build slowly, as soon as it gets to 8, you can play this Chun-Li card. If it gets to 9, I can play this evil card over here, which I do not actually have because I haven't pulled it yet in the way the gacha game works. So that's the thing. So the more powerful cards obviously are going to cost more. Now, here's the interesting part. Here is the interest. Yeah, I think there was a Batsu card, wasn't there? Let me see if there's a Batsu card. Oops. No, I guess there wasn't a Batsu card. Darn. Okay. But now here's the interesting thing. Is that you can make a deck with multiple colors, right? So red tends to be offensive. Red deck tends to be offensive. So a lot of things do damage. You can do damage directly to cards. You can do damage directly to enemies that are there. You can do damage directly to the enemy hero. You can increase the attack of your cards. So there's a lot of cards that would be like, give +2 attack, -2 defense to a friendly unit. And this one's +2 to attack, only effective for 1 attack, etc., etc. So that's what the red deck does. The green deck is mostly about defense. Chun-Li kind of has those shields that she can build up the shield, whereas Mega Man has a lot of things that can build up health, the defense. So whereas the red cards gives you a lot of attack, Mega Man has a lot of ability to give a lot of health, a lot of defense. There's a lot of things that heal you. For example, where's the card right here? Where's the card? It's the one that looks like... Shoot. I could have swore it was a 3-cost card. I guess not. Maybe it was a... Oh no, it was a 6-cost card, I think it was. I'm looking for the card that just gives you health back. There's just a card that you just play that just gives you health back. I can't remember which one it is now. Because I haven't used it in a while. But in any case, green has a lot of defensive stuff. A lot of defensive cards, basically, like that. Purple is, they're called control cards. And again, all of these colors come from Magic the Gathering, by the way. It's very similar to Magic the Gathering. It's very, very similar. So purple cards here are control decks. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of cards that halt the opponent. Like that halts the opponent. This halts the opponent. These cards, like you can just play certain cards. Like this card right here, if you just play it, it's a unit. It's not an action card, but when you play it, it halts the card in front of it for 13 seconds, etc. So there's a lot of that, and they also have a lot of ability to use a power called Resonate. So, for example, these units here, you can see it says Resonate, gain +1 attack. Now, one of the nice things about this game is anytime you see anything in yellow, if you tap it, it actually explains to you what it means. So like I said, there are action cards and unit cards. Unit cards go out as the defense and the attack. Action cards are like magic spells that you can cast. They just do something right there on the spot. Well, every time you play an action card, it triggers Resonate. So if you have a unit that has Resonate here, it says Resonate, gain +1 attack. So if this card was sitting out there and is trying to attack, every time I do an action, such as playing one of these cards over here that halts the opponent, if I halt a card, then this card over here will gain an attack. It just gains a +1. It just gains a +1. And that's why one of the most powerful cards in this deck is actually the Shinko card. This one, which costs 7, because every time it resonates, you get a +2/+2. So a lot of times if you see me use my Morrigan deck, what I'll do is I'll actually let my meter build up to 10, play Shinko, and then play 2 action cards right away, because she'll come out at 3 attack and 4 defense. Resonate turns her into 5, 6, and then another Resonate turns her into 7, 8. So already she's a 7/8 card right away, and then I just keep resonating her until she gets more and more powerful. And if I can run into one of these cards here with Ada that has hook shot, I can turn Shinko into a flying card, so now they can never block the card anymore except with their own flying creature. The only way you can block a flying card is to block it with another flying card. And so, you know, you can give any card flight this way, and all of a sudden you have this 8/9 card, that, like this 7/8 card, just flying over people and doing 7 damage to the hero every time it touches him. Then I resonate it, and it's 9/10 now, and now it does 9 damage, etc., etc. There's lots of ways to destroy cards, to remove powers, to reset them, so there's a lot of ways to defend against them, but that's basically purple. black cards are the high risk card. In the black card, there's a lot of cards that do damage to yourself to gain the benefit of something else. For example, some cards here, like this card, for a 3 magic point cost right here, 3/5 is actually pretty strong for a 3/5 card. Most 3 cards are going to be like 3 2s and 2 3s and stuff like that, but this one's a 3/5. But when you play it, you sacrifice 3 life. You just drain 3 of your own life. And so Nergigante, for example, who's the black dragon, has a hero art that he'll do damage to the opponent based on the amount of health he's sacrificed, up to 12 health. So you can play these cards, sacrifice your own health, and then if you use your hero art, you'll always do 12 damage to the opposing units on the field. The other mechanic that black cards use a lot is the revenge mechanic. So even though this 3 is a 2/3 right here, and it's not very strong, there's a mechanic called revenge. Basically, if you have a revenge card, whenever it dies, it doesn't go away. So whenever you play a card and the card gets destroyed or whatever, it goes into the graveyard. This is just the term for a CCG. It's a card that's been used and is no longer in play. So the card is gone. That's it. So you start with 30 cards, you play a card, that card goes into the graveyard, you have 29 cards left, you play another card, it's a unit, it gets killed, that goes into the graveyard, you have 28 cards left, etc., etc. You have your hand, and then the cards that are finished using go into the graveyard. Well, the black deck also has the ability that if a unit dies, it won't go into the graveyard. In fact, it goes back into your hand, shuffled in there randomly. So basically, you have your hand here, it'll take the revenge card after it dies, slide it back in there. It gains +2/+2, and the amount of MP to use it will halve. It'll actually drop by half. So it'll actually only cost 1 MP to use this for a 4/5 creature now, the next time you bring it back after it comes back. So there's a lot of little interesting tricks like that with the black cards. A lot of weird, interesting mechanics. They also have the ability to pull cards out of the graveyard too. So even though a card gets put into the graveyard and is no longer in use and cannot be played, the black deck is like, no, I think I'm going to play that anyway. And they have cards that can pull things from the graveyard and actually play them anyway. So there's a lot of little interesting tricks, but they tend to damage themselves and hurt themselves. It's a high-risk deck. However, being high-risk doesn't mean not very good, as currently, right now, black seems to be the strongest color. So, here's the thing. You could actually mix colors, which is pretty crazy, right? Because can you imagine if I played a black deck here where I hurt myself a bunch, but then I also teamed it up with the green deck that basically kept healing me? So that way I'm not sacrificing anything, right? I'm sacrificing life for all this stuff, but then I heal myself, so that'd be great. So let me just combine black and green together, and I'm super buff, and this is kind of broken, right? So why would you stick to only one color and not do 2 colors? The reason for that is that if you have 2 colors, your MP meter gets halved. It gets halved. I told you it builds up to 10. Now if you have 2 colors, you only get 5 MP max. So any card that's 6 or above cannot be played. So you can't put any card 6 or above in your deck, or when you draw it, you literally can't do anything with it. Caveat, there's a way to do it with Wesker, but it's cheap, but we won't talk about that right now. In general, you can't play a card that's over 5 MP. If you play 3 colors, you can't play anything over 3 MP. And if you have all 4 colors, I think it's 2 or is it 1? I don't remember now, but no one's ever done it because basically your deck is useless. Because there are no units in 1s, there are only action cards in 1. And remember, you can always recognize an action card because they've got the round top. And the unit cards have the square tops. Like these guys over here. The cheapest unit is always going to be 3 MP. I haven't seen a 2 MP unit yet. All the 1s and 2s are always going to be action cards. So depending on how you want to create your deck, it really just depends on the strategy, right? So in general, for example, it's usually a good idea. So if I edit my Ryu deck, you can see down at the corner over here, I have 21 units and 9 action cards. You kind of want to use a lot of units with Ryus because that way you have all this offense that you can keep attacking with and such. But this is not necessarily the ratio to go by that will make you win. There's a lot of different ratios that you can go between. For example, as I mentioned, with my Morrigan deck, what I want to do is I want to play the Shinko card and then resonate it by playing action cards all day. Action, 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 action. Well, that's why I have 13 units and 17 action cards. Because I want the action cards to trigger as often as humanly possible. So I just gave Morrigan a ton of action cards. So you can see here, this is the list of cards that I'm using. Here's an action card, here's an action card, action card, action card, action card. It's like everything is an action card because I just want to trigger this as much as possible. Oh, it doesn't even allow you to make it past 3 colors? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so El Zilcho in the chat says his Morrigan is 9 units and 21 action cards. I have died a lot by running out of units from fighting Wesker decks. One of the things that Wesker and Nergigante have as black decks is they have cards that literally just murder any card that's on the field. Given conditions, right? One of them sacrifices its own card, one of its own units, to randomly kill one of your units. Another one can only kill things that are 2 MP and lower, etc., etc. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna play another game here, and I'm gonna use my Morrigan deck. So I'll show you an example here of how this works against. I'll beat up on Dante because Dante is not that strong, and it's easy to beat up on Dante. So I have not opened the packs yet, Toshin. I will be doing that in just a little bit. So what I'm looking for is either my Shinko or my Ibuki. And I've got none of them. However, I do have this guy here. This guy is the Greed. If I play him and he resonates, he just puts another unit on the field. It just spawns another unit randomly. So watch, I'll put him down here, and if I play this action card that I have here and I halt him, how? I just generated this guy out of nowhere, because that's what this guy does when he resonates. It says, put 1 Castigator of Lust or 1 Castigator of Pride. I'll play another action card. Boom! And now I put another guy over here. So that's what he does when he resonates. And that's what this guy does when he resonates. As you can see, he's putting a bunch of flying characters up on the thing. So I'm going to halt them, and then these guys also resonate and gain 1 extra hit points. So I've halted 2 of his cards over here, which isn't really going to do me any good. Boom, and so all the action cards just played out, basically. And here's my hero arts. So my hero art, if you actually look at my hero art over here, it's 11 out of 15. The way that you build up the magic, the hero art points, is that it's whatever card you play. If it's a 3 MP, it adds 3 to the AP. Watch, it'll go to 14 now. And if I play this 1, it'll go to 15. So now I have 15 out of 15, so I can actually play my hero art. Now my hero art kills whoever is halted, so if I do it right now, it's useless. So what I'll do is I'll halt this guy over here, like so. And then I'll halt another one of his cards. Over here, I halted both of them. My hero art over here destroys any enemy units inflicted with halt. So you just grab your hero art over here, drag it onto the field, and now I'll murder those 2 cards instantaneously. Goodbye. Gone. They're gone. This action card drains 2 hit points off of an enemy and then gives those 2 points to me. So I'm going to do that over there. My problem is I haven't gotten any of the cards that I've wanted so far, which is kind of making me mad. This card is glowing because he has an ability called Veil, and Veil means he cannot be targeted by action cards, which is really, really nice, so I can't target him. However, I can halt him with my Anacharis, and now he's halted, and because he's halted, he can't counterattack, so I'll do 2 damage to him and he won't do any damage to me. And I still don't have any of my major Resonate cards that I'm looking for right now, because my RNG is terrible right now. So I'm going to kill this card. Dude, they are not giving me my cards. Alright. So I will now halt you. And, yeah, I'll kill you. What the hell? Because if you Resonate, you'll put more things on this. So I'll kill you. So you're dead. And I still don't have one of the cards that I'm looking for. I still don't have any of the cards that I'm looking for, and I only have action cards now. Dear God, this is one of the worst RNG. Ugh. Jesus Christ! Look at this. I have 9 cards left, and I have 3 to 4 cards that I'm looking for, and they won't give any of them to me. They still have not given me any of them yet. This does 6 damage. Oh, God. Finally, a Shinko. There's my 7. So this is a 3 Shinko. This is a 7 Shinko. This is the one that I've been trying to wait for the whole entire time. Yeah, if the card targets random, it can bypass. Yes, that is true. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let him do all this. I'm going to let him kill one of my cards. So when he kills one of my cards, I can place my Morrigan out there now. So that card's dead. So I can place the Shinko out, but I'm going to purposely take damage because I don't want the Shinko to take any damage yet. I'm going to let myself build all this meter here at the bottom. Okay, good. Then he's going to halt that card instead of halting my Shinko. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Shinko and give her flight. Now she's at 5-6. She started at 3-4, as you can see on the top. Now she's 5-6 because I resonated her. Now he's going to try to lower 1 damage. I'm going to halt this card, resonate again. 7-8 is what she's at now. And he's trying to resonate, so I'm going to let him finish that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him be halted over here. So now she's a flying 6-8. Let me see if I can get this in here. Like, oh no, I missed it. Okay. Well, anyways, here we go. Hey, what's up, Pat the Flip? And so here we go. Now I've halted this card here, and he's trying to lower my thing. I'm going to give him flying just so Shinko can jump up to 10-10. So now she's a flying 10-10. This guy's halted up here, and I'm going to murder him with my hero art again. Ooh, you're dead. What's going on, Pat? Have you been playing this game at all? This game is really fun. 10 damage! Boom! Oh, it was 9 damage. It went from... So if I hit him one more time, he's dead. However, his hero art turns him invincible. So he's invincible for a few seconds, so I can't do anything to him. I'm going to play this and halt this card here so he can't do anything. So not going to actually hit him. But if I actually... This is going to fly right over his card over here and basically murder him, except he activated his hero art again, so he's invincible again. So I can't do anything to him right now. But I'm going to resonate her again, so now she's 11-10. And now I have 15 out of 15 hero arts over hero art points. And what the hell? I'm going to halt her again just to build the 13-12. Now he's going to try to give her flight, but it doesn't matter because she's going to get halted. Halted. And halted again. And then I can kill her with my hero art now. And my Shinko's still going to do 13 damage. He's no longer invincible. Bam! Dead. There you go.
You were wonderful. Well
There you go. And that's how it works right there. So that's a sample game right there. And again, that was against the computer, so it was super easy to do. I purposely picked one of the computers that I can beat up on. But that's basically how that works. So that's the whole game. But as you play, the strategies are different. So for example, if I play my Chun-Li deck over here. So Chun-Li and Morrigan are my two main decks. The whole point of this Chun-Li deck is to get out one of these, oops, I'm sorry. The whole point of the Chun deck is to get out one of these Chun-Lis. Because these Chun-Lis, every time it wins, it gains +1, +2. So whenever you kill an enemy unit, it gets so much more powerful, and you just keep shielding it all day, and it just does a crap ton of damage eventually that the enemy can't do anything about it. And every time the enemy tries to block it with a unit, so let's say it tries to block it with a 2/5 unit, well, it'll do 2 damage to Chun-Li, but it'll take 5 damage from Chun-Li, so that 5 kills the unit. Chun-Li loses 2 hit points, but because she killed somebody, she gains a +1, +2, so she would go from 5/6 to 5/4 because she took the 2 damage, but then she would gain 1 attack and 2 health, so she would become a 6/6 card. So you put out a card to block her only to buff her up. That's basically all that. So this card is super dangerous. And the power that Chun-Li has is that she has one of her hero arts is called Yawn. And basically what you do is you pick one of your units, and if that unit is ever killed or removed from the playing field, you gain 4 MP. So that 10 bar that you have down there, you'll gain 4 MP. So even though that Chun-Li card costs 8, when you actually play Yawn, you can get stuff easy. You just put a card out there whose explicit purpose is to die. You yawn it, it dies, you get all this MP out of nowhere, and then you just play this Chun-Li card all of a sudden, and now you are super, super scary. Oh, what's going on, Wolfgang? I really enjoy this game, Teppen, although I heard it's becoming a little tougher for trying to play completely for free. So, for example, let me fight...
Father, I'll put an end to their plans. Father,
let me
I'll put an end to their plans.
A deck with her as well. I'll try to beat up on a Mega Man deck who basically tries to heal his units, and he has something called Gaia Armor, which turns all the units on the field veiled so you can never target them, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But so I'll battle him and I'll show you kind of what's going on here. So my whole plan with Chun-Li is to throw out a Chun-Li card, basically. And then if I can get a Chris Redfield card out combined with it, that's really buff. So I don't have one of those, but this card gives me a 50% MP boost. So as soon as I get 5, I'm going to play this right away. So now my MP meter is building up way faster. And he just did the exact same thing. This one gives me a 20% MP boost, so I'm going to play him. And now I'm gaining meter really fast because I've got a 50 and a 20 going at the same time, and so does he, actually. So this is a card that's going to give 2 attack to this card over here. I don't care, whatever. I'm looking for my Chun-Li. This card right here is really good because it inflicts Seal. Seal basically puts these chains on top of the opponent, and it means whatever power-up they had, like this MP boost here, no longer works. You just basically get rid of everything that they have and they can't do. But this is his power right here. He's going to keep trying to give hit points to all of his cards. So he's going to give 3. So now look at this. Every time you see a green number, that's more than what it started with. That's what green basically means. And so now he's got all these guys with all these hit points here trying to destroy my cards right now, and it's very annoying because I am not getting the cards that I want at all. So I've got a Yawn now, so I'm going to Yawn this card because he's going to die once the 3 from over here hits. So as soon as that 3 hits, you're going to die. And then actually, you're going to be close to dead too. But the cool thing about this Felicia card here is if I play Felicia, she plays into every slot. So I'm going to take a little damage here, and then, boo, 3 Felicias! So that's a nice thing about that card. It just kind of gives you those kind of opportunities. It just lets you kind of keep up with an enemy like that. And now I want to kill. Oops. He activated his Gaia armor. Or Gaia armor, sorry. And I'm still not getting the card that I want. This thing just seals cards automatically. Shoot. I have nothing but action cards, really? Fine, I'm just gonna do damage to someone. I still only have I'm getting the exact same problem I got the last game, where I'm just getting nothing but action cards and I can't play any units. I have no units. I'm telling you, man, my RNG sucks. This happens to me all the time when okay, finally a Chun-Li down here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna yawn this card over here to try to get myself some MP to play this Chun-Li card. So here we go. I'm just gonna take random damage at this point. Whatever, I'm fine with it because this deck can make comebacks. There we go. So now I have this Chun-Li. I'm gonna play it at the last second to kill and gain all that. So now I've gained a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna shield her just to make her stronger, basically. So she'll take less damage. It's gonna give +6 to that to him for health, which is fine. I'll let him do that because I've got these Chris Redfields, which reset the opponent to the original numbers. So he's supposed to be a 1/5. So when I play this, he's gonna become a 1/5. Well, yeah, so he's going to gain 3 health and go to 14 and then get reset. So there you go. 3 health, reset, back down. This guy has 210. I want to kill him as well. Can I get this in time? Oh, I can't target him anymore. Shoot. So now I can't target him. So now I'm just going to keep shielding her. So basically, he can't kill her. Jesus, there's just so many okay. You know what? I can't target him. I can't target him. This is really annoying, and I have nothing but action cards again. What the hell am I?
You'll only hurt yourself.
I can't target any of his cards. Alright, I'm just gonna heal myself over here. So this gives 12 hit points, so I'm gonna heal myself over here. And I have nothing but action cards again. I have nothing but action cards this whole entire time. And now I'm going to also have her do some extra random damage. But you see, she just keeps getting stronger. She keeps getting stronger, so her 8 is going to hit that guy and kill him. This is the Chris Redfield I wanted on the field. This one right here is the Chris Redfield I wanted. Because when he's on the field, anything that kills something gets a +2/+2. So if I get him on the field, she'll get the +1/+2 and the +2/+2 from Chris, which is like ridiculous. Except, well, actually, there you go. Boom, it went to 10-7 now. So she's just getting stronger and stronger as it goes, basically. He's going to get +3 for killing somebody too, and I'm going to yawn him anyway. I'm going to play another Chris Redfield out here.
Give me strength. Gaia armor.
Another Chris Redfield out there. I have these cards which can actually pull one of my cards back in and give me 7 health. You saw that before, so I'm going to do it on this card here just to show you, basically. This will pull them into my EX pocket. The EX pocket are for extra cards. You only have 5 normally in your hand, but he's dead because that 12 damage is going to murder him, basically. So that's the whole idea. Both of the decks that I have are offense-based decks about powering up one card to be ridiculously buff and destroy the enemy. One is done through Resonate, the other one is just done through Chun-Li card killing people and just continually powering up. So that's basically how the whole thing works there. So that's kind of an example right there of using my Chun-Li deck. Now,